So in a previous videos, we looked at the toxins in the environment. Now you know that toxins are free radicals and they are basically mimicking the hormones. They are endocrine disruptors, and it's all about the compounding effect. So in this video, we are going to look at how you can reduce the toxic exposure in cooking and in food that you are preparing and eating. So I know it's very difficult to bake a bread or cakes when the temperature is, for example, 120. So you need at least 150 or 170 to bake a cake. But when you are baking, you are creating acrylamide. And this is neurotoxic, and the research showed that it is killing the brain cells. So I know, I live in France, that people sometimes even go to the bakery and they say they want the blackened, the darkest part of the bread. And that's not what I would invite you to do. The same is, for example, when you are roasting potato, roasting beetroot, parsnip. So we know that this root vegetable is very healthy, but it's actually quite high in carbohydrates, and more heat you expose it to, more molecular structure, more sugar it brings up. And again, it might be carcinogenic if you blacken it. Well, if from this slide, if one thing I could make you stop buying is puffed rice cakes and these breakfast cereals, even if it's quinoa. I used to do these mistakes many years ago, especially when I wanted to lose the weight. I thought that if I buy these rice cakes, they will be low in calories and it helps me to lose the weight. However, they are actually high in glycemic index, which means they spike the insulin, the anabolic hormone that is when it's released into the bloodstream. It doesn't allow you to tap into the storage of the fat because it's anabolic. It wants to build. So every puffed cereal, if you were to look how this is done, so the process is called extrusion, and the rice has to be exposed to really high heat so that it puffs. It is nearly impossible for you to create this, make it at home. So I would invite you not to buy for your children and not to buy it even for you. This is not going to help you to lose weight or improve your health. Then when you barbecue, sometimes you also burn, and the blackened parts are also carcinogenic. So it is called heterocyclic amines. So again, I would invite you maybe to avoid eating the black part. So what is the best cooking method? Obviously, it's steaming and boiling. And if you want to bake, and we all want to bake some cakes or bread or whatever, the research showed that if you are using the sodium bicarbonate, which is basically baking soda, you lower this acrylamide by 60%. So that can be a good tip for you. Definitely avoid fried food in forms of French fries, like from McDonald's, because the combination of the sugar in the potatoes, the starch, and the fat is the worst for losing the weight.